glad it's working out. Oh.
She has a friend.
She has friends?
Well, at least one.
I thought I was her friend. Who? Temperance. That is awesome, actually. That's awesome. Oh, you don't know this, but my classroom is set up as a Harry Potter world situation. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. My kids voted for it, so. All right. I'll see you later. So Keith and I were talking. I'm probably going to have to repeat a few things, but that's okay.
Oh, you're fine. He repeats everything.
Some of the things we're not going to repeat.
No, we're not going to repeat those.
Keith repeats a lot of things. I should have left this on record while I was gone. That would have been great.
Oh, no, you would have to cut out a lot.
Yeah,
bloopers.
you would have had to
There's
cut out
a lot of that would have been cut out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Episode 15, sir.
15.
Yes. And we've got a good one.
We do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm cheap.
Well, I know you are.
I already knew that.
This one goes speaks to the savings and deals.
Oh, I thought you were smoking pot.
No. I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Unless I need to go to sleep. That's the only time I don't care what it is. It puts me to sleep.
That's like pretty much me all day.
Yeah.
I just want to take a nap.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's because we're getting old.
This is true.
Amen.
Oh my goodness. She says amen.
Oh, please.
She's like half your age.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm old enough to be her dad. My daughter actually went to the same high school as her.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's get on with this.
All right, let's do it.
We're doing costuming on a budget.
With who?
With a ghost.
With a ghost, because she's not there.
Hello!
I wave my hand. This is our friend. This is person
Did you
of
forget my name?
Person of many hats.
Too many.
Yes.
Too many.
Music teacher, violin tutor.
Okay.
She's actually
Violinist.
she's a violinist. She's actually the tiny violinist teacher.
Oh, so this is
I
who we have
blame
to blame.
her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I blame
Yeah,
her.
Gotcha.
blame me for everything.
This
it's
is
fine.
Veena.
Hey guys.
Hello.
My name's Veena, and you can call me V. Honestly, that's okay with me.
She is. I brought her here because she's actually a very, very active in the cosplay community. But she did an amazing costume that during last season there was a lot of talk about the costume, and I'm trying to convince her into joining the ranks of the unwashed.
Eventually.
At the Renaissance Festival with us.
Yes.
But she's going to talk to us a little bit about how to build your costume. This is mainly for patrons.
Okay.
Mainly for patrons, because patrons and patrons, cast members might be able to get away with it.
Some of them probably would, yeah. The lower echelons.
Yeah, like the fairy folk, the fae.
Yeah, the street cast.
The street cast.
There we go.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's us. So we're gonna.
That's you. That's
Yeah.
not me.
So hey, tell some people about how long have you been doing cosplay and stuff
Oh
like that?
my goodness, it's been too darn long.
That's not an answer.
I know. If I did the math on it, it's
Very
gotta be
nondescript right there. Oh, just
my
so
goodness.
long.
So long. No, about 15 years.
Oh wow.
I started when I was about 10. So yeah, it's been 15 years. It's been
15
really long.
years, and obviously a lot has changed. Budgeting, skills,
Oh yes.
skill sets, and everything.
I have learned a lot along the way because when I first started, may I just say yikes?
Okay.
I was definitely not the best cosplayer in the world. But
We're gonna
I
have to
was-
ask you to curb your cussing there.
Yes,
Holy
that was. This is a family show.
offensive.
Oh my
Yikes.
goodness.
Yikes! Wow. Woo.
Oh my
And then,
goodness.
so if you remember, what was your first cosplay costume that you did?
Oh man, this has to take me back way long ago. It's gonna be so cringe, you guys. I was a weird little ballerina. What was it? Ballerina fairy something. It was so stupid. I wish
Winx?
Sure.
Was it from Winx? I mean,
No,
I'm
but
just
we'll
like
just call it a Winx.
What was it? The inspiration from?
Winx.
You liar! You
It
liar!
definitely was not a specific character.
Okay.
It was like an OG, an original.
Okay,
character
okay,
person,
but
you know.
like, what would the lore or what did it belong to?
If we're talking at a 10-year-old mindset, I would just want to put stuff together and call it good.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there really wasn't any lore, guys.
Okay,
Sorry.
so it's
Fair
kind
enough,
of it's
fair
kind of
enough.
like Keith on normal fair day.
Yes,
Yeah, there we go.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just throw some stuff on and hope for the best.
Well, we're gonna give you some love there, up there on the screen. If you don't know, if you can't see it because you're just listening to us as you're doing things, I've got her Instagram up there. We're gonna link it down below. You guys can check out her Instagram. She's got some photos up there that are pretty cool. We're gonna put them up there. This particular picture is Lumiere from what is that? What is that? Enchanted,
Beauty
right?
and the Beast.
Oh, sorry,
and the
Beauty and the
Beast.
Beast.
Come on, dude.
Shame.
Shame.
Oh, dude, I can do this all day long.
Where's
That's from
Eric?
from Pinocchio.
We need Eric. Shame.
Shame.
That's which is another person.
That's going to be
actually-
another button we're loading in on that, the shame button.
We got to have his sign.
Yeah.
But he's another person that actually I didn't realize Veena and I knew in common.
Yeah.
He's a very, very. We've talked about him on the show before. Eric,
Oh, yeah.
He's our headsman. He plays Wyatt Earp.
Yep.
He does cosplay with the 501st Vader's Fist, the
Nerds.
Stormtroopers. Also does World War II stuff.
Oh, yeah. His World War II stuff is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it is.
if
I mean, he's
details.
Yes, very, very, very good. But that's another cosplayer. But I don't know what that dude does for a living. But he spends money.
Yes.
He spends money on his
Lots.
costumes. But V here is great. You could follow her on Instagram at ANEEVREE.
You can also find me on TikTok and Facebook with those names. TikTok especially has a lot of my behind-the-scene videos of how I made most, if not all, of my costumes. The only one that's missing really is the Lumiere. I'm so sorry, guys, but everything else is there.
Shame.
I know.
See, you're right. We need that.
See,
Yeah.
it's going to come in handy.
That button's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what we're really here to talk about is budget and how to build a costume, because the forest spirit, I think you told me it was under $200 that you spent on building that costume, right?
Well, under $200.
Yeah. So what's the most important thing when you're trying to build your costume? What's the most important thing that you would say is like to take into considerations?
So usually what I do first is I make a list, or at least a drawing with a list of what I want to do, and start with like a starting idea.
Okay.
Throughout the process, it does change a lot because of budgeting, but I will list those items or like particular things, say for the forest spirit, which you'll see, the mask. It's like, that's gonna be the biggest thing about my costume, so how do I want it to look? How much time and effort and money do I want to put into it? And then really you want to start with your priority items.
Okay.
The biggest things on your costumes.
Biggest, so the most time consuming,
The most
or
time-consuming, maybe the thing that'll take the most money.
Okay.
Sometimes that is a thing.
okay. So let me, since we're talking about that, let me see if I can pull it up here. I really need to just like buttons.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about research.
Can
and
you
everything.
can you throw this back up on?
No.
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
No.
Do it.
See how you see what I have to put up with? Oh wait.
I feel so sorry for you.
It's horrible.
That's so funny. It's so funny. We don't practice any of this. It just happens,
It does.
which is hilarious.
Oh, okay, there we go.
You can see it now.
Yeah, I can
There
see it now.
is.
All right. We'll skip down to let's get down to that. Where's it at? How did that end up in there? What did you do, Keith?
What
Dude,
did
I
you
didn't do anything.
There we go. There's your
Oh
forest
my
spirit.
goodness.
So that's the original
look at
picture.
it.
No. We gotta go into this because this is a whole story.
Okay.
It's also on my TikTok if you want some more behind the scenes. Oh my goodness, this thing was the biggest nightmare of my life when I first got it. Because
So I will stop you real quick. So what was your inspiration for this? Like, what made you go, I want to be a forest spirit?
So, if some of you guys know this, Studio Ghibli has a movie called Princess Mononoke, and I have always wanted to create a character based on that kind of movie. And so I took inspiration between the Kodamas, the little white ghost guys, and then also the actual forest spirit itself.
Okay.
However, I wasn't going to try and make, say, a quad suit for this, because that's just not realistic. So I wanted to make a humanoid version, but in my own style.
And a quad suit is basically you're on hands and feet.
Yes.
Okay.
And
You're-
now
you're-
take that idea and trying to get through the Ren Fair. That's not gonna happen.
No.
It does. It does actually.
I mean, it could, but not for me.
I haven't
guys can
seen
totally
it
try it.
specifically at Colorado, but I have seen videos of other festivals that have had.
Well, I'm sure like the land of it is also better for that in other
Yes.
places. For Colorado, you're going up and down hills, and it's just
I would really hate to see somebody. I mean, it would
Wait.
just be legs and arms going down the hill
Yes.
We go down hills in Colorado.
and up.
and
Well, I know we go up.
And
I
we go
don't
left
ever
and right
remember
and
really going down.
sideways.
Well, that's. I mean, we are. Colorado is kind of known for skiing. You have to go
True.
down for that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Whatever.
So I remember when you first started this thing out. And I remember the very first thing that you actually worked on was the staff.
Yes, the staff.
But that was because you were waiting on the mask, and I
Yes.
remember there was like some kind of snafu with the shipping.
Oh my goodness. Okay, here's the story. Be prepared for this. I'm sure you have a photo of what Amazon actually shows it. Don't trust Amazon all that much, just saying. It showed me like the perfect thing, and I really liked the idea. I was gonna change it a little bit anyways. I ordered it. $25.
Sure.
Free shipping handling.
Yep.
It got.
Gotta
it
love
how
got
they get
there
you.
Gotta
within
love the
a
Prime.
week. Yep, gotta love the Prime. But was it worth it? I don't know. It had no reviews, and I kind of just went for it. But when I first got it, if you have the photo up there,
I don't know.
Is
It-
it going?
it's-
okay.
it may
It'll
cycle
pop up.
through.
If you look at it, you'll see the really ugly version of it.
It's
That's-
the very white version.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
really
Yeah, I
messed
saw that.
up-
It'll
That's-
circle back through.
Yeah, it'll circle back
I'm
through
sure
there.
It will, but it was just so ugly, and I cried. I actually cried when I took it out, and then I tried it on.
I cried a little bit when I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cried
That's
a
because you're
lot.
scared. You're scared.
Because
I was.
I had like what 3, maybe 4 days at most to try and get this mask in shape for the Ren Fair, and I was panicking. I cried, and it was so ugly. It was warped. Like there's indents.
It's latex.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit, whatever, but it was a little bit more than I had asked for.
I'll tell you the
So-
secret to getting those indents out of that latex is just a little bit of heat.
And that's what I used. I used a heat gun to try and fix those indents
Yeah.
a little bit, and then kind of just warp
Mold
it,
it, yeah.
and
Mold
it
it
how
back to where it
needed
needs to
on
be.
a mannequin head. And I'm talking like the big mannequin heads, not the little ones. So
The
it
fact that you
worked.
have one cracks me up.
Hey, you'll get some
I mean,
stuff.
when you're there, it is right
So,
there.
Yeah.
yeah,
that is awful.
That ugly thing.
I mean, it's
There's really like no redeeming quality.
No.
no,
Quality
but
of
then
it,
you
and
look at
that's-
like the final
And
product.
what she did, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it took
it's a
me-
night and day difference.
It took me about 3.5 days, if I remember correctly. It took me so much work. So if I break it down, I had to repaint the whole entire mask, and I used it, by the way, with Walmart paint. I'm not even kidding. It's the little tiny 50-cent bottle ones. I used that, and then I stained it a little bit using that kind of paint, but I mixed it with water instead
Okay.
for the second layer. Just a little bit of water, not too much. And so it kind of gave that like woody effect to it. And then I went in with the details of the indents with that kind of paint as well. As far as like anything that's coming off the mask, I had to use foam clay for the extra horns because I didn't feel like the side horns were good enough for me. And I actually really love the extra horns on it.
I think it added a little
added
bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
But foam clay, all you had to do was just make it, shape it, let it dry for like 12 hours. I let it dry, I think, for 15, close to 15. And then
You could also bake that. By
you
the
can
way.
also bake it, but
At low
you
temps.
know what? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. So, and then I glued it on. And then I added fake moss, or real moss, I guess, whatever it would be from Dollar Tree. So, it's cheap.
We're
And
gonna go
then-
with fake.
I know. And then I bought like the little tiny mushrooms from Amazon because they were like $6 for like, was it 50 pieces or something like that?
So
and I
you
just started
you
gluing it
trusted
everywhere.
Amazon again.
Again.
Hey, there were good reviews on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair
And there
enough.
were pictures. It was
fair
great.
enough.
Great reviews. So I trusted that. And then I bought some of the other kinds. If you see right in there in that photo, the big mushroom in the middle, that also came from Amazon. It was like $4. And then, the green. So if you notice on the mask, it's actually a wig that I cut up and tore apart pretty much and layered it on the back of the mask because the back of it had a lot of space. And then I took the original stuff from the mask from Amazon, which is like that. It's like yarn almost for the fake moss effect. I started gluing that on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I just created a whole thing out of it. And I cried for the beautiful final result because I couldn't believe I did it.
And
then she's telling me this whole process, right? And so
And he's making fun of me.
because she's like I said before, she's the tiny violinist teacher. She's telling me this whole process, and she's just stressed the hell out. And I turned around and I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, why didn't you use an airbrush?" She goes, "Well, I don't have a..." Dude, she was screaming at me. It was great.
You would think
was
after
great.
all these years I'd have one, but
She
hey,
goes,
hey,
"I don't have
hey.
one." I said, "But you know somebody that does, and he's got a bunch of
I
paints."
didn't know.
And she was like, "Well,
You don't tell me these things.
what?" And she was so flustered. She was so angry, and she just looked at me. "I'm gonna go now." And I said,
disappeared again.
Oh, she's gone.
See, I just left. I straight up just left.
which was awesome because this is the cool thing. She's Veena's a
There she is.
Veena's
I'm
a
back.
teacher, but she's also like not your average teacher. And I'm not disparaging teachers. I'm just saying that she kind of goes above and beyond when it comes to like making sure that her students excel.
I try. I really try.
And I told her, I was like, "Hey, I'm organizing something for Pirate Weekend, and this is when we had Arlen,
Yeah.
and the whole thing with the tiny violinist playing." And I said, "I would love if you could be there." And Veena goes, "I'm there." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Oh, you know I am.
I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna dress up like this. This is absolutely Captain Yenchang's gonna dress this way. I bought Aislin's dress, and this is the way that she's gonna dress. So Veena goes, "Oh, dope, cool. We're gonna dress up like I'm gonna dress up like a samurai."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And so she brings her sister along, who's also a V.
We're all the V's.
and they come dressing up, and I got to see if I can pull this up because this is.
Yeah.
I got to bring this up because one, I think it was actually no, that's not there. It's this one.
Yes.
All right.
There it is.
So this is their costumes are authentic, like as close to possible as you could get.
On a budget.
On a budget.
On a budget.
On a budget. And,
Okay,
and
so
by
so
that,
how much did this cost
This cost me less. Like for both of our stuff, less than $100.
for both costumes?
For both costumes, less than $100 because I actually made most of it using things around the house.
Okay.
now, mind you, they still had the getas, which is the
Yeah.
sandals.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
the reason we have getas is because we are actually Japanese. Me and my sister were both a quarter Japanese, and we've lived in Japan. We're from Japan, and so we already had our getas and those things. So that was great. That just helps out big time.
which I got to point this out because this is something that irritates the ever-loving crap out of me. So I don't understand how people can accept that
Right.
that I play a Chinese captain and I'm Chinese.
Yes.
Yet they see these two picture up there
Yeah.
and they're like, "That's cultural appropriation." Like,
Yeah,
dude, you
we-
haven't even talked to these people to find out where they're
No,
from.
and we have received so many comments on that from so many people. It was ridiculous. I think me and my sister counted at least 9 people, or at least groups of people that came up to us and said that we were being absolutely inappropriate with our
Right.
costumes.
Right.
It's Pirate Weekend. We should be more like Jack Sparrow
Ugh.
or anything to that
Sorry,
effect.
that came out.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That and what really cracks me up about that is like, first off, we've done a whole episode on how they're anachronisms. They don't belong in the Renaissance. If you're actually going to do something, it's like you're going to really portray like the privateers, the corsairs, because those are actually during the 1500s. What really blows my mind about the whole thing is like, dude, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, what does it harm? Like, and I could understand. Keith and I talked about this before. The very last weekend of Renaissance Festival last year, 2023, I was approached by a couple. The wife was from Beijing. She's from China. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she goes, "Dude, your costume's on point. What dynasty is that from?"
Ooh.
So I was like, "Dude, that's validation." Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that validates my... And then she looked at me and she goes, "You're not Chinese, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm Filipino, but I'm not going to dress up like a Filipino dude in the 1500s because I would have been in chains."
Right.
And she goes, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, they were occupied by the Spanish conquistadors, and there's no fun into that. I can't build that character anyway."
No, but I think what it boils down to is, like most things, it's optics.
Mm-hmm.
So you, being Filipino, really could pass for Chinese.
Sure.
The way you're dressed.
Sure.
Yeah.
You, and I've met you before.
Yes.
I wouldn't, until you told me, I would never guess you had any kind of Asian background at all.
And that's the thing that my
And
sister and I
so-
get a lot.
Yeah, and so when they see you dressed up like this, they're like, "Oh, it's two white people dressed up like." But for you, oh, he's Asian.
Okay, now
So-
check this out. This is where it gets really funny.
But for me, my personal thing is, hey man, come how you are. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, as long as
This-
you're not trying to disrespect the
Yeah,
culture,
I mean,
you're fine.
if you're doing it correctly,
Yeah.
you know, that's my biggest thing.
Here's-
Especially like, you pick out the people that have their swords
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
that is actually disrespectful to that culture.
Yes.
If you're going to dress up,
Yes.
do it right.
Absolutely right. But here's where it gets really funny, because I actually work with her mom, and her mom looks Hispanic as hell, dude.
yeah,
but
she does.
she
does.
is hilarious, because when I first met her, I walk out back and here's this woman. I'm not even joking, dude. I'm like, here's this little Mexican lady out back that is like speaking fluent Japanese.
What on earth?
And I'm like, what?
Where
what
did
the
it all
hell
go wrong?
What is going on here?
What universe am I in?
And so I looked at her and I was like, "You're Japanese?" And she goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm half Japanese." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You don't look Japanese."
I
And-
promise you, when she was younger, she looked more Japanese. I don't know what happened after
She
that.
got a tan.
and she got a.
She got a tan. I guess she spent too much time in Spain. I don't know, because
It's
she did live in Spain for a bit.
it's
but
funny
I-
though, because
Yeah.
she laughs about
Yeah, but
it.
most of the people that live in Spain who are actually Spanish look white anyway.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
she didn't fit in there either.
No, she's
Correct,
special.
sir.
Love
But
you, Mom.
I think it's hilarious because it's one of those things to me that, like, if, like you said, if you are doing it with authenticity,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you are being respectful of the culture. I mean, there's that. I still haven't found those samurai.
I haven't either. I've tried.
There was a group of like 4 samurai that were walking around, and I mean, these guys were really on point.
Yeah, they
Right.
were even wearing getos.
They
the
were-
same kinds as me and my sister.
They were decked from
Mm-hmm.
tip
Now,
to toe.
now, were they Japanese?
No,
No.
Okay.
not at
They
all.
were definitely
like, not at all.
white.
Well, except for the one guy.
Wait, no, there was one guy that wasn't out, but still,
There
like,
was one
they
guy
were
that
Asian.
and I'm gonna say, I think he was black. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just going off of the visual.
Yeah.
But they were all very respectful of things, and it was cool as hell because we got this big group picture that I have not been able to find.
And I still have yet to find it. I've been trying so hard.
Like, so it's me, it's the tiny one, it's V and her sister,
Mm-hmm.
and the 4 freaking
Samurai.
samurai. So there's 8 of us standing there, and I mean, like, there were people that were walking. I don't know how I haven't found this picture, because there were people walking by going,
Yeah, and
"Oh
they
my
were
God,
taking
can we take
pictures."
pictures?" And I'm like, dude, that's dope. I'm gonna find this picture somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully
Have
one day.
not found it.
No, one day, hopefully.
If you're watching, send me the picture.
Please. send us a picture.
Because I like that picture.
It-
But they even had their swords the right way too, which
Yes.
I appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes, and they actually wore they had the
Yukatas.
Well, yes, that, and they were also wearing it wasn't just the katana, it was also the wakizashi, and
Yes.
it was actually the right way, which there is a right way to wear those, and usually it is the wakizashi on the top of the katana, and it goes at an angle.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to say that.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
these guys had it. I mean, I appreciated everything about that.
Yes.
Hopefully, they join us next year for Pirate Weekend, because that's going to be fun.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
And so she spent under $200 for that.
Yeah, and I made the hat. Well,
and
I did
re-
not make the whole hat, but I added to the hat, and I added to the clothes.
All right, there's the forest spirit, and let's go down because we're going to talk more about this. So, here's her toothless.
This is when I won my first. Oh, that first picture was when I won my first costume contest.
Oh.
Like official one in the community, sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that one right there.
That's. So was that like that quad that you were talking about?
No.
No?
This was actually Toothless 2.0.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's actually just an arm puppet, a really big one.
Okay.
And he's made out of a lot of foam, and I guess there was like some wire in there too to keep the structure.
Oh,
yeah.
I see it now.
And then the wings were actually, was it pool noodles?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It
Hey,
was great.
dude, whatever works, man.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Dollar Tree and I was like, all right, I need 2 of these. 3, 4, 4. I need 4 of these. So
You know,
yeah.
always have extras
And
on
I don't know if
supplies.
you have the video to show the 360.
I don't think I'd put it on here.
Ah, darn. There is a video.
There's always video,
It's on TikTok.
except
Going
for
back to TikTok.
you know, video of me and Keith that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Doesn't exist yet.
How do we get that back
But
on
yeah, I
there?
do have a video on
you
TikTok
did that.
to show
I
the
did.
There we
360. He is very big and he is very heavy.
So and now we're actually cycling through some of V's other
Yes.
Other
These are my more
cosplays.
recent ones.
And what is this we're
So
looking
this
at here?
one is Kindred off of League of Legends, a
Yep.
video game. And where is this at Galaxy Fest?
No, that was actually Colorado Springs Comic Cons many years ago.
Okay.
And then that one's from the Anime Onsen about 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
coming out of
I was
COVID?
going to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I won best
No,
in show
you
in that one.
You liar!
Lies!
Oh,
Oh,
look,
she
look,
believe
look,
me.
look, we've got
push.
Winifred and look.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
so Jack Sparrow, this was like freshman year of college. This was a closet cosplay.
I need the fast forward button.
I know,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
that's
Jack Sparrow, I don't really do him very often, just because a lot of other people do, and I can't really do a male voice all that well. So it is
That's
what it
okay.
is.
That's right. Neither can Rob.
But what I mean by closet cosplay, I literally went through my closet and I was like, what can I use? And I had like this really old, from like many years ago, old Renaissance costume because I had gone to the Renaissance fair and got myself something. Oh no, you've disappeared.
I'm invisible. I have my
Are you?
cloak of invisibility.
There he
You
is.
are. So yeah, and then I made everything that was on my face out of yarn. And then I borrowed a hat from a friend because he went to Disneyland and got it. And I had the wig. And boom, shakalaka.
Boom,
Put it together.
boom, shakalaka, Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
My brain just went to Muppets Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Shakalakala.
Yes. Oh no, now I've disappeared again.
Oh, here, there you are.
Okay, there we go.
It's like I'm petting her.
Yes.
It's not that kind of show.
No, it's not.
No.
So, obviously, I have my whole thing about pirates. I honestly, though, with what you're saying, you spent on that is a very
like
well
zero.
done costume.
It was like almost zero. Like nothing on that really cost me anything. I had the boots. I had the Renaissance thing right there. It's like gold. I already had the shirt. Actually, no. I spent maybe $10 between the wig and the sword. Everything else is out of my closet. I'm not even kidding.
Which, by the way, that's the wrong type of sword. But okay.
Yeah,
I
I was
know.
like, that's
Hey,
not
It's a
really
scimitar.
You gotta do what
I was
you
like, it's not
gotta
really a
do,
cutlass,
okay?
but you know, hey.
It's a
You gotta do what
scimitar.
you gotta do.
Hey, you know
I
what?
can't bring weapons to school, guys.
There's truth behind this.
Okay, fair enough.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
gotta do what I gotta
I could
do.
I understand.
which is why I like the Renaissance Festival, because I could walk around with that 7-pound piece of steel
Yeah.
on my hip.
Yeah. Well, better you than me.
But if college sees
Well,
that,
I
they're
have
like,
to because you're not armed anymore.
I've got a dagger
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how that works out.
and a cane.
Yeah. Although cane fighting is actually pretty cool.
It
yeah,
is.
it is.
So but I mean, dude, the fact that you're able to put these costumes together with such a minimal amount spent is very impressive.
Took many years
It's
to get this.
it's
point.
quite honestly, like, I mean, I've got the Boxo costumes inside the storeroom back there, and I've been told I have to like slow down.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said.
I'm on the opposite end.
I mean-
Everyone's like, do more.
Well, and I've got it. Like we were talking about, I need boots. I need new
Mm-hmm.
boots. I even thought about cheating.
What were you gonna do?
Order some kung fu shoes.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
ooh.
I mean, that's
The
Yeah.
the great thing about playing an Asian character is I can go I can go.
You've got options.
I do. I have a lot of latitude when it comes to costuming. The cool thing about that is if I so chose, I could even wear, because of my association with you,
Yes.
as character, I could even don European British garb, and it would be acceptable.
Right.
Because he outfitted his man so that he fits in.
Yeah.
We could play with that, but why?
We could have Western and Eastern
Yeah, but why?
elements to your
Yeah,
costume.
absolutely, and not just that, but because of the source material that Yen Sheng comes from, the Portuguese would have lended a lot of that. Also, the Spaniards, if I didn't hate the Spanish.
Yes, but we do.
Yes,
We do.
yes, because they blockaded the islands that would become the Philippines. They're also responsible for the Asian version of Tortuga, which was Mindanao, being destroyed.
And the list goes on.
Yeah, no, this is why we hate the Spanish Inquisition, man.
Because
I
nobody
just
ever
hate
really
everything.
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
And they don't like it either.
no.
So let's say, okay, let's we're gonna do let's pretend.
We're going to what if?
We're gonna pretend.
if?
Okay. Yes. If you were to design let's do what kind of costume should we do for a cast member? Do we want to go traditional, or do we want to play around with a fae costume?
Oh, well, I mean, if you could do either one.
Let's do a fae because
Yeah,
it's
let's
a
do
little
a
bit more
fae.
fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to try to plan out a fae costume, where would you start?
It would either be. No, it wouldn't be. I would say it would be your costume, like the clothes.
Okay.
Because if you try to do the wings first, you wouldn't know how your clothes work to hide the wings or the mechanism of the wings.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah. I've done one before, so I know. I made the mistake.
I'm looking at Keith because he plays Rufus, and the wings were an afterthought.
But
Yeah.
they worked.
They did.
They were.
I made them work.
He pulled it off, and they're hilarious. I fell out when he put them on.
Absolutely.
As we were getting ready to go to the festival in Santa Fe, I almost was not able to drive us to the venue because I could not stop laughing.
Oh
no
my
one
goodness.
expected it.
No, it was great. It was glorious.
Do it again.
They were like, "Oh, I am. I'm
And
now
and-
roped into that character. I can't
Good.
change."
I wanna see it again.
to portray, try to bring him on to, because we had this thing where it was like, hey man, we want you on the Pirates of Neverland, and you're gonna play Captain Hook's daddy,
Yeah.
Ooh.
like his actual dad.
Yeah.
And he was gonna the end of the day he was gonna be, I thought I told you to behave, blah blah blah, and then walk up and grab Captain Hook by the ear and pull him off
And
stage.
drag him off. Yeah.
But we got told no.
Oh, but
He's
that
not
would've been
he's not allowed to be anybody except for Rufus.
Yeah. I did a too
When
good
the
a-
casting director tells you no, you go, okay, no problem.
But that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It would have been, but
Wasted talent.
I know.
yes,
I know.
he is.
So I'm still gonna work. I'm still gonna work on that to see if I can do.
Well, you know what?
And just at the end of the day, just for that one scene,
If anything, what we could do
because that is a great ending.
is
Right in the middle
It
of the
is,
fight,
but it would-
just drag Captain Hook.
it
off
would
by-
also be funny if it was a mom.
Oh.
Yes.
It would work both ways.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yes.
You know,
For sure.
And Matt, who plays Prince Otto, also plays our Captain Hook, and we were talking about it and we pitched it, and he was like, "Dude, that's funny." And then as we do, we test waters with lines and improv, and the line was, "But Daddy." It was glorious, and I'm like, we got to make this happen.
Well, we definitely now have to make this happen. That's amazing.
Oh yeah. No, it was great because like the
see
whole
this.
the whole battle is I'm just gonna come out and be like, James Hook, what have I stop? What are you doing? And they'd be like, but and then he go, stop. I told you to leave the boys alone. Stop, Peter. What have I told you? Do not antagonize him. You know how he gets. And be like, all right, that's enough fighting, boys. Lost boys, you go home now. Go. Smee, I expected more out of you. And I grab him by the ear. All right, James, Just wait till we get home and I tell your mother what you've done.
But Daddy,
Yes, and it's
And that's it. That's
the
the whole
line-
thing.
I love that.
the line that he delivered was so petulant. And it was
Yeah.
so perfect.
But Daddy.
But he was like, "But Daddy, I want to play with my friends."
Oh my goodness.
It was so funny, and it was beautiful. But we'll have to figure out a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
because
Please do.
It's
I gotta
hilarious.
See this. I gotta see this in person.
And-
It's
and-
great.
A little bit of foreshadowing next year.
Dum-dum-dum.
Keith and I are actually we're gonna grab a couple of people that will volunteer to help us out and get some video footage of us doing things. So we're gonna become a little bit more active on TikTok, possibly Instagram.
Oh, sure.
And try to grow the audience a little bit more.
All the social medias.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
all of it.
everybody wants to. I mean, it's one thing for us to sit there and talk about the things that we do,
Yeah.
but for you to be able to see it, that makes it even funnier.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're experiencing the craziness that
Of YouTube.
the rest
Yeah.
of the audience got to see.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. All right, so you would start with the clothes.
Yeah, so start with the clothes.
Okay.
Something else you have to think about is also temperature, weather. We've had some days where it rained. You don't want to wear
I have my hat.
clothes that might get ruined in the rain.
No, I have my hat.
Yep, there you go.
My big hat that everybody is envious of. I've had
Oh,
walking
yeah.
shade all over
Oh,
the place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But definitely start with the clothes. Think about how your wing is going to attach. Do you want to just attach it to the clothes? Do you want to have a whole mechanism that just
Articulation.
like an articulation sort of thing?
Yeah.
Are you going to use wire? Are you going to use PVC pipe? It's endless.
You
Honestly.
can do foam,
You can do
EVA
foam.
foam, or whatever. Because I think that's what that's what Primrose has on a lot of hers is EVA foam that is
I believe
that
so,
is
yeah.
over top, laid over
Yes.
wire.
Yeah.
And actually, you should go check her out on Instagram and Facebook because she does giveaways.
Yeah.
And she gives away some of her wings then when she's retiring them. So that's always cool. And like Keith and I always like to do, we try to give back to our fellows, if you will, our fellow castmates and Rennies. She just actually, I don't know if you noticed this, but she just finished up her second book.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't see that.
Yeah, they did.
No way.
They did a photo shoot for the art inspiration and everything, and she's got her second children's book coming out here very soon.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to look forward to. You guys check her out, and don't forget the Saucy Wench, the
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
the hot sauce.
We're like, yes.
The hot sauce that Primrose and her husband own and operate. They're really good flavors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But back to our costuming. Okay. So we want to take in consideration whether I generally, regardless of anything, I tell people dress in layers.
Yes, definitely dress in layers.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be a super hot day.
Well, even then,
But
because
in
then
the
you
morning,
can take stuff off.
In the morning, it's going to be a little chillier.
Yes.
And then it gets, whatever in the rest of the day, depending.
I think we had that conversation about a cloak before.
Yeah.
Because I don't have one.
No, no. I have one, and I generally never use it.
I mean, there was the one day that you
Because
brought it.
I always have it with me
Yeah.
just in case. But I was just like, it's so hot putting that thing on.
I think it was like the tail end of July when we went in, and it was like
Yeah.
cold as all get
Well,
out.
and then it rained, and I was like, okay, so I threw the cloak on, and then as soon as it got done raining, it's so humid, it was just
Yes.
uncomfortable to wear.
Yes.
And I'm
Meanwhile,
like-
there's me standing out in the rain with my hat.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
So I had to hurry up,
Don't
take
rub it
that
in.
thing off. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm pretty sure I left that at the fair. It's probably still in the
Was
closet.
that it?
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Down in the closet by the
front gate.
Yeah,
I do remember seeing something posted about that.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's mine.
If it makes you feel any
I
better,
wouldn't
Cindy
doubt
left
it.
hers in New Mexico.
Knowing you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so what about? Let's talk. So, do you leave like the accessories to last?
Honestly, for me, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Depending on what it is.
Uh-huh.
Depends on when I'm gonna buy it.
Okay.
So like for
That's
let's just say this for Kindred. I originally was not going to make a belt or the what's it called? I just lost the word. The thing that goes over. Like you can see it in the photo right there. I have EVA foam that's wrapping around my torso.
Okay.
That was originally not in the plan, but I had extra time and I decided, hey, I'm gonna add something because right now I'm just a lot of fur. and I don't want to be called a furry. I love my furries. Don't get me wrong, but wrong kind of character.
Here comes the backtracking. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, furry friends?
Hey, I love my furry friends. I have furry friends, okay? It's just that costume is not a furry.
We have one.
We do?
Yeah. Yeah. The unicorn.
Oh, that's true.
The unicorn.
Would you?
I
Periwinkle.
love periwinkle.
Periwinkle is would be considered a furry.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you're right. All right.
I mean, I may be wrong. If I am, correct
I
me
don't
down
know,
below, dude.
The thing is, I love furries, and I don't mind it. If that's for you, good for you. Go for it.
There's the dragon
It's
that was
just-
down in New Mexico.
Oh, there's a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, she was very well done.
She was
Ooh, I wish
Yeah.
it was.
at
It
the
was-
end of the
was-
day. She was dying though. She was like, "It's
Oh, I
hot."
And
Dude,
that's
by lunch, she was dying.
that's why I'm not much of a furry for myself. It just gets hot for me. It's just not for me.
I will
If it's
s-
do for you, for you. But for Kindred, I was called a furry a lot, and I'm like, there's a difference between a furry and then having a lot of fur on your
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
I
do what
wouldn't
you need to
classify
do.
that as furry.
No, but I was called that a lot, and I was like, that's fine, whatever, that's fine.
You know what? What's and I deal with this with the little one because she's on the cusp of going in middle school, and this is the age where children really start to develop their mean streaks.
Yeah.
On like, oh my God, you're a nerd. You do this. You're so weird.
Oh, PTSD trauma.
and
in
I
middle school.
well, I'm a good dad. I believe that I'm a good dad because to me, dude, does it make you happy? Then don't pay attention to what those
Exactly.
idiots say.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Exactly.
God's sakes, your dad walks around pretending to be a Chinese pirate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
true.
I lost myself in the picture now.
Now you gotta wave at the camera.
We
more.
I think you needed it.
There we go.
There it is.
But I will say, what's the on Skyrim, the Fox people?
Oh.
I forget what they're called.
Oh no, I haven't played Skyrim in forever.
Dude, why are you looking at me like I'm going to know that?
I went to because I'm telling you a story here.
Okay, just give me a moment.
I went to this comic convention, this gaming convention in Charlotte, West Virginia, or no, Charlotte, Virginia. This dude, the Lil Mothit,
Is that how you say it?
Lil Moth.
Whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, they're fox people, so they're humanoid,
Okay.
right? But they have fox heads and a fox tail.
Yeah.
Everything else about them is human. So arms, legs, hands, feet, blah blah blah, right? This dude came dressed, and they're generally well dressed. So think Victorian era.
Okay.
Okay. This dude came in, and not only was this mask like completely badass, but it was articulating. So when he talked, the mouth moved.
Oh, cool.
See, I used to make things like that for people.
And on top of that, the eyes blinked, and the ears would move. And I mean,
Those two things I have not figured out.
there's
yet.
a lot of robotics and stuff that go into that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely not a cheap thing to do. But the
No,
guy
that
built the
stuff
whole
takes
thing.
a lot of money.
Yeah, and
a
that-
lot of electronics.
This
that is
guy
something
built
I don't go into
everything,
yet.
everything from scratch by hand. And I was like,
Crazy.
dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, no, that
Crazy.
seems cool.
And to top it all off, his tail would just he had it on a switch. He turned it on, and then it would whack.
So my question is, did he actually make the tail then?
Yes,
Like by himself?
yes,
That is incredible.
the whole freaking thing. And I asked him, I'm like, how deep are you into this costume? And he was like, honestly, I'm pushing $700-800.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I know some people that go into the thousands for things like
Well,
that.
the gross majority of it was the clothes.
Yeah.
Because it was Victorian
Period
era.
appropriate,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I mean, like, I was like, dude, are you serious? He goes, yeah, these are actual clothes from that time frame.
Yeah.
Like sourced, like they're not original, but he had them tailor made so that they
See,
fit him.
I have mad respect to anybody who can do that.
Yeah, so
From scratch, too.
doing the Western reenactments, all my clothes were period appropriate.
Okay.
So I spent a lot,
Well, I mean, dude, even
on
on your
pants and a shirt and the suspenders and the right kind of belt, the right kind of tie thing, the right
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, everything was just. It was a lot, but
if I were to guess,
we had to because we had to
But
look
it
the
looks
part.
Yeah.
cool, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks
adds
super
to
cool.
it.
and if I had to guess, you're probably $2-3 grand into
Oh
that
yeah,
costume.
easy.
Oh,
Easily.
yeah.
You know, I mean, and,
yeah.
and that's you even talk about our knights. You know, those guys spend a lot of money to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And
most
they do.
I actually want to know how much their costumes, or at least their get-up costs.
You should come and hang out with us because we eat lunch with those guys, and they'll tell you.
Oh, I want to know.
They'll
Bring
tell
me
you.
over.
They'll tell you because they're part of they're a Ren family, and we're actually going to try to get them to come on with us later on so that we can
yes.
talk about like how they got started. You'd actually appreciate that family because
Oh, yeah.
their 2 daughters, violinists.
Of course.
And that's how
we're
they
all
got-
violinists. We're all violinists.
That's
It's
how
fine.
they got
That's our
into
secret.
the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
And then the one daughter works at she's out in California as a costumer for a theater company.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so she makes all.
See, that's what I was going to go into originally. And then I became a music
Yeah.
teacher instead.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, so was I.
But I joined the army instead because
Yeah. That's
honestly, I mean, it's funny because in a million years I would have never thought that I would end up moving into an acting role. Like the only thing that really brought it out was I had to mandatory classes when I was in the military.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not mandatory, but you know, you have to if you're gonna be a personality like a radio personality, then you know you got to do these things. And then when you're working for the television and radio station, guess what you have to do? You got to do the advertisements. You got to
Yeah.
make the commercials, and guess what? You got to make it look believable.
Yeah.
Have to.
And some people don't have that ability, and it was just
No, but that goes back to costuming too. Is you got to make the costumes believable.
that's right.
You know, I mean, especially for us.
Well,
you know,
you.
when we're walking around the fair, you know, people have to believe that we are who we say we are. You know, and if we're dressed, yeah, thank you, like like they're gonna go, okay, well that costume looks like crap. You know,
Yeah.
whereas they come up to us and they go, dude, your costume looks freaking amazing, and then he says,
In China, we call them clothes.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, that's why I don't make
Yeah, Morgan.
anything because
What'd you
I
think of that?
suck.
See, and like honestly,
What'd you think of that? I'm
That-
actually working
that
on
was
that.
actually
like,
pretty good.
I'm-
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
See,
That's pretty good.
we're having this.
That was kind of John Carradine-ish
Yeah. What we're trying to do is
or David Carradine. Sorry.
what I'm looking at is like I refuse to do the offensive accents.
Yeah.
I refuse. But the way that Keith and I talked about it is maybe I tone it down and I become more deliberate with my words and I slow my pace
See,
down.
There you
Yeah.
Go. There you go.
So, because we all know I'm spasmodic when I talk for real.
Yeah.
But if I slow the characters' timing, the tempo down, it that way it seems like, oh well, he's struggling with the English language, which is going to be even funnier
Yes.
because I'm going to start. We're talking about words.
Words.
and we have a skit that we're going to do that's an homage.
Words are important.
That is
Words are important.
that is hilarious because we've been compared to Abbott and Costello.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Right.
I can see it,
Because
so-
of the way that we bounce off of each other. We've been
Yeah.
compared to Abbott and Costello. So in homage to that, we're preparing something.
Can't
I'll
wait.
tell you about that later on when the
Can't
camera's
wait.
off. Because
Yes,
Can't
that's
wait.
that's
I don't
a-
want to tip the hat too much.
that's
I just
a big-
wanna-
Don't
that's-
let your secrets out.
That's a behind the scenes
yeah,
conversation.
no, that's going to be an amazing thing. But you know, authenticity, making sure that you do fit.
Yeah.
That is 100% the right thing. That's why when Yen Sheng bows, he bows differently than Lord Robert bows.
Yeah.
I actually follow the Asian convention, the Chinese convention of bowing versus bending the knee like the Europeans and the Britons do.
Right.
Which at first confused the hell out of everyone.
It did.
It was
It
hilarious.
was funny to see the reaction. They're
It
like,
was even funnier when I didn't bow the first 2 days and got him in trouble.
We nipped that in the bud.
Yeah, whatever. It was fun and you enjoyed it.
I did up until the point we got in trouble. I went, all right, that's enough of that.
Then we got yelled at by somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gone.
She's
oh,
my-
there she is.
She's my
I'm
imaginary friend.
back.
So back to
The costume.
the costuming.
Yes,
Because
costuming.
we digress.
We always do.
This
Oh,
is
it's
this is
fun.
our show.
No worries.
Is we start off with an idea, but so back to costuming. I think the biggest and that's what this episode is really good is because I think a lot of people look at costuming and they go, "Oh my God, it's going to cost me, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars
And not
to put all
always.
this stuff
No.
down." So,
No.
so having someone like you that can go, "No, look, like you can put a costume together for $200."
If
You
not
know,
less.
and that's
Like, I'm
awesome.
gonna be honest, I think the one costume that cost me the absolute most, it had to be Kindred, and it was just because of the fur.
Right.
Fur
Right.
is so darn expensive.
Right.
And it's just gotten worse nowadays too. We all know it. But I had to
Oh,
buy
I know.
so
It's because of
many
Keith.
yards.
Every time I
It's-
go to buy fur, I'm like, "Oh my lord!"
Man,
It's
oh,
because of
darn.
Keith. He's building a Wookiee costume.
Oh goodness, good luck.
Well, it's a Wookiee
I mean,
Kini,
that
but you know.
Kindred, the Kindred costume, I think I had 4 yards of fur for it or something
Holy
like
Oh
that.
wow!
Bro.
Yeah, it was a lot of fur, and that cost me a pretty penny. So that, or it may be like the toothless puppet, but I don't think that one cost me as much because the fabric was a lot cheaper
Right.
than fur. So I'll have to say Kindred was my most, but also if you take a look at the photo right there, that bow cost me, I think, $200 by itself.
What?
Maybe. And it was because of the Warbler. The Warbler alone was $100. But if we're going to break it up, there's a lot of layers to it.
Right.
There's the pink insulation foam, which is then covered in EVA foam, which I had to add a little bit, tape to it, like duct tape. And then I put more EVA foam, and then I put the Warbler. And then I painted it.
What the hell is Warbler?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. If you do not know what Warbler is, where have you been? Warbler is, how do I put it? It's like, it feels like plastic, but if you put any kind of heat to it, like a heat gun, it'll actually change its shape and mold against something.
Oh,
So for the, the clean look of the bow,
we
I put
call that
Warbler.
shrink wrap.
It's better than shrink wrap, but it is expensive.
What a heathen!
Heathen.
Like you knew what she was talking about.
I totally knew what
You
Warbler
were
was.
happy.
Sorry.
You were happy that I
Sorry.
said it, so you didn't have to.
She said warble, and I was like, "Yeah, it's that stuff where you put heat to it, and it,
Yeah,
and it
yeah, right. You
melts
couldn't
the
have
thing."
told me
Yeah,
that before I said anything.
You
yeah.
should be-
No, I didn't want to steal your thunder.
You should
Okay,
be
yeah.
happy I've cleaned the studio because normally I have things to throw at you specifically.
I mean, come
for
on.
these
You
things.
look at me and you
Throw
think,
these little guys.
No, I'm
Warbler.
not throwing my little guys. My little guys are awesome.
I'll do it. Yeah, so anyways, Kindred was definitely like a $400 project right there.
You know, that's
and
Or
it's still not bad.
$500.
no,
No.
that's really not bad. I mean, when you look at like, okay, let's say we buy a doublet at the festival.
Because that I was just gonna say my doublet alone was $400.
Right.
Yeah.
Which combined Yen Shang's costumes, the first set of robes and then the second set of robes, I'm $450, $500. That's including the big heavy piece of steel
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I carry around. But the hat was a whole different thing because I bought the hat like a year prior.
Right.
You already
And-
had it.
Yeah, I built the costume off of the hat. I built the character off of the hat.
Yeah. I mean, if I had started from ground zero,
Yeah.
trying to put this costume that I'll have this year to get, oh no way, I'd have to work 3 jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just because everything is so, because I'm upgrading
Which
all my
brings
stuff,
me
so
back
it's-
to another point. Keith
except my boots.
Keith
they're
is
so
looking for a
comfortable.
sugar mama. If you would like to volunteer, you can send your resume with an 8x10 to Renaissance Rascals at gmail.com.
Yes, Lord
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
become a Baroness 2024.
Oh my goodness, guys.
If you have spaghetti,
I mean,
just saying.
Oh,
that's all it
bring
takes.
the spaghetti, guys. Bring the spaghetti. He'll love you immediately. Oh, but a key point that I do want to bring up with the Kindred, because I get comments and questions about this all the time. How did I get the blue effect on the white fur? This took a lot of experimentation, honestly, but what I ended up doing was doing a, 1/4 to 3/4 acrylic paint and water. Water being the 1/4 cup, and then everything else was paint. You mix it together, and then you get a paintbrush, big one, small one, doesn't matter.
Right.
And you just kind of layer it onto the fur, and then wipe it off, and just do it several times. It
So
took
it's
me
just-
a whole week
It's
of
like
just
dyeing.
dyeing it.
Yeah.
But the problem is because of the way the fur was, I couldn't do the traditional dyeing, and so
It's a
I had
synthetic. It's not gonna. Yep.
synthetic, and it's just because it wasn't as long of fur as you may think it was, and it wasn't very flexible. I had to use a paintbrush with that method, and it actually works for a lot of things. I've had a lot of people use that technique and get amazing results out of it. So that is something that would work for dyeing, because I know dye can be a little bit expensive. Just get a 50-cent bottle of paint, add
Yeah.
some water, call it good.
All right.
Or you could get some Rit dye and do the same thing, but it's a little bit harder to get the consistency the right way.
Yeah.
Fabric dyes, they do make some really awesome fabric dyes, but again, I mean, you're talking $12, $13 for a vial or a
Yeah.
bottle of it, which
And the thing is, you don't even use the whole bottle.
no.
Like with the
And then
with
you're
the
stuck with this
little-
dye.
Yeah. Now you're like,
What are you
now
gonna
what
do
am I
with
going
it?
to do?
Right? But no, that took me, I think, about up to a week just doing a dyeing process, because I had to dry, and then you add more layers, and then let it dry, and add more layers, and you just got to go through the whole thing.
Hair dryers.
Hair dryers.
Heat
Actually,
guns.
no, I did that with the fur, and it just made it curl up, and I hated it. So I was not doing that.
Well,
I
yeah,
feel your
because
pain.
because it's synthetic.
Because it's synthetic, and I just didn't like the look of it, so I had to, because I tested it. I tested it on a little piece of the fur first to see if it actually would work. And I did, I think, 5 different experiments to try it, and that's how I got the paint with the water.
That's actually a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Is regardless of whether you're working with fur or
anything else,
cloth, if
Like,
you're
you wanna
dyeing
try
or
it.
doing anything, test it on a small sample if you have that.
Yeah.
If you don't have a sample, like let's say you order something offline or something like that, and you want to dye it a different color, somewhere on the inside of the outfit or piece of clothing, you're gonna find like a little leftover. You can test there. This
Yes.
will save you money on having to, I screwed that up.
Yeah, because that, like, at the beginning of my cosplay career, I made that mistake so many times before I learned, from my
To
mistakes.
test, yeah.
So, big thing, test it before you try it, because you don't want to mess up your entire costume and have to you have to just spend more money and redo the whole thing. That is the worst feeling in the world. So do not do that.
Now, I will say that, along the lines of costuming, because budgeting, that's the thing. I ended up getting into leather work because of that.
Much respect.
Yeah.
And Keith's seen my stuff. I mean, if you guys have watched me walk around in the festival, my wine gourd is actually stainless steel, but I've wrapped it in leather and dyed it so that it looks like it's actually a gourd.
Yeah.
And I pulled that off pretty well. But
I agree.
the pouches that I wear, I made those because much respect to the people that sell stuff, but I didn't have that kind of liquid funding where I could just be like,
It is pricey. It is.
yeah. And now I'm like, oh, cool, I can whip that up. I can do that. I'm actually working on a scabbard for a friend, Donnie.
Yeah.
I got to get to work on that because I've only got how many days?
138.
Okay, 138
Whoa,
days
you
to
guys
get
are
that
counting.
done. Yeah.
I started at New Year's.
His Majesty
Right on.
has made the announcement. So
Right after
yeah,
New Year's, I start counting the days.
There you go.
it's gonna be great.
That is my halfway to fair right there.
That's right. That is right.
Right on.
And so you'd be surprised what skills you can learn and how easy they are to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Getting them so that they look what you envision. Well, this is the artist's nightmare.
Yes, it is.
And once again, you can make something, but it's the authenticity that's huge for us.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
as far as cast members.
Right, and that's
if
where I'm
you're
saying.
a patron and it doesn't look quite right, that's a different story. But for us, we're kind of on a different different playing field.
Because
so our stuff has to be
because it's not just our perception; it's also the casting director's
Exactly.
perception on the
Everyone's.
requirements. So,
Everyone's.
yeah, absolutely. But it's one of those things that we absolutely have to make sure, like Keith keeps on saying, we have to make sure that we fit exactly where we're supposed to fit.
Yeah.
And look professional at that.
And professional, yeah, exactly. Because we often say that we're historically adjacent, so
Yeah.
some of our stuff isn't quite
But you have some
100%.
leeway with that.
Yeah,
A little
but
bit.
still, you have to look well put together.
Yeah,
Right.
Like you belong there for sure.
Exactly.
Right, and for the most part, you can pick out when you go to a festival. You can pick out, oh yeah, that guy works here, that girl works here.
A lot, yeah.
You know,
And
you
honestly, the forest fair, everyone thought I worked there,
which
which I
that's
was not expecting.
that is absolutely why you're on the show, is because that is on the budget that you had to be able to have that kind of recognition
You flatter me.
Dude. I'm just stating
Yeah,
facts.
no, it's a great costume. I loved it.
I'm just
thank
saying,
you.
stating facts, man. So Keith and I were hanging out after you guys had left, and even the following day at Cast Call, everybody's like, "Dude, did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my friend." And they're like,
Yeah.
"What?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
Yeah, we know her.
Considering I only spent I think a week and a half at most on that costume, and the only thing I didn't actually make was the corset because little time, corset takes a lot of time. Yeah. But everything else I had made from scratch.
Trust me, I know it takes time. I have to put his on for him.
I put it on. He has to tighten it up for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think it's actually called a girdle.
But no, I definitely
Maybe.
got a lot more recognition with that than I expected, and I had people coming up just playing parts with me. It was
Yeah.
great. I had this little boy, and I hope his family sees this because that made my whole experience so much better. He had found a map on the ground. That's what they told me. And it had magic on it. I have no idea if it was actually evil or not, but the way I played with it, because they came up to me, they asked me, "Oh, she looks like someone that would know what this is." And I opened it, and I just pretended it was bad magic, and I dropped it, and I started hissing at it. And apparently it made their whole day.
Nice.
So it made my whole day too. So
Absolutely.
if you're seeing this, you are awesome.
This is why she needs to audition. Period.
Well, I was going to do it this summer, but I have a last-minute trip going to Japan, and I'll be back sometime
She says
in July.
last minute. They know 6 months in
I
advance.
know.
Yeah, exactly,
Last
right.
minute.
Hey,
Last minute
tickets,
is
man,
like, grab your
tickets.
stuff, we're going.
Last minute is like, hey, we're gonna head down to Pueblo.
This is last minute for me because it's been 9 years since I've been. So this
Yeah,
is kind
no.
of last minute for me, okay?
We get that,
So
though.
then
I mean,
what's-
like,
But
that's
I'm excited
family.
to go.
What's
I'll be
another
back-
year then?
I'll be back for the last few weeks.
You can't go in September.
Because I have work.
You missed the part where I said she's a teacher.
Yeah, did you miss
Whatever.
that?
Okay.
So,
I
whatever.
go wheels on the bus, go round and round.
I
with the kids all day.
Substitute teachers. It's a thing.
I
Look
think
it up.
he's actually trying to.
We'll
you
talk
know,
about that later because that's something I'm not going to put up on this.
I think he's actually trying to put you in as the Baroness. I think that's where this is going.
I'll get the spaghetti.
All right, so the application process is now closed. I want to thank everyone for playing. She's got to get out of here. She's got a costume to make.
We actually have some more people coming in any minute now.
Dude, she did the glasses thing. I'm like, oh yeah, she's in.
Yay me. Aren't I a lucky girl?
Oh, well, that's a word for it.
And that's the episode for today.
That's a word for
Yes,
it.
and if you guys have any more questions about any kind of cosplay, costuming, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anything under Unevery.
And if you can't find her there, you can always message us. We can put you in contact with her. All you got to do is give us a message at renaissancerascals@gmail.com or...
You can catch us on Facebook. Hit us up on the Messenger.
Yeah, Keith likes to troll people.
Most likely it'll be me.
Yeah. He likes to troll people. He's lonely.
I am. I said at work going, do we got a message yet? No. Damn. I want someone to talk to.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And this is V.
Hey!
And we're the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
So tune in. Later on, we've got some improv coming up.
We do.
And we've got music.
Oh, yes.
Yes, our favorite fiddler's coming in.
Yes. Oh, I love him.
And he's going to, we might let the little one join us.
I think we should.
I think we
maybe.
should.
I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah.
Well,
I
she does
trained her
kind of
for
live
this.
here.
Yeah. I think she's going to be here no matter what.
Yes.
But tune in. Make sure that you guys share this because this is a good time. Plus,
Absolutely.
it's great information. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to connect people because that's kind of what we do.
It is what we do.
And, we also...
Among other things.
Yeah, well, among other things.
Yeah,
I don't know what those other things are. They just kind of happen.
Sure.
I don't plan anything.
No.
You know me either.
What did we say? Coordinated chaos?
Yes, coordinated chaos.
Amen to that.
That one comes from our friend in Minnesota.
Yes.
Because we couldn't figure out what it
Couldn't
was.
figure out exactly what we do.
Because, you can't say organized.
Yeah, because we are
Or
definitely
planned.
not
Because
organized.
plan
Not
and
in the
chaos
least
doesn't
bit.
go.
And we don't plan anything, really.
Well, we do kind of.
Yeah, we have an idea.
There's a seed.
We have a direction.
Yeah, there's a direction.
And go with the flow.
And then we just, nominate random people to be sponsors.
Absolutely.
Because unofficially, they're sponsors.
Unofficially, they're sponsors.
Let's run down that list real quick.
So we have 2 cents worth.
2 cents worth.
Incense.
Incense.
Find them at the Colorado Renaissance Festival.
We've also got Tarvel's Trinkets.
Tarvel's Trinkets. He'll be a vendor this year.
Oh, really? He's got his own booth?
No, he's working for someone, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
And I don't want to say the name in case I'm wrong. But
Yeah.
I know he's working as a vendor this
And then
year.
unofficially, we have the Saucy Wench.
The saucy wench.
Oh,
yes.
the saucy wench.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't love a saucy wench?
Anyway, and then what's the new one? The chain.
Oh,
chain
the
of
armored
office.
fairy.
The armored fairy.
Yes.
And then we have to hit the adult beverages.
Yes,
because
there's Honeybrook Meadery
can't even
in
say
Bless
it.
Castle
you.
Rock.
That's just
I
too
know.
much. Yeah.
Ugh.
And then we've also got Drakkar Meadery down in Colorado Springs. And oddly enough, those guys have actually talked to me, and they're like, dude, you guys are insane. And I said,
We'd be more insane if you sent us some.
yeah, I said,
Sponsorship
you want to keep it
things.
going? All you gotta,
Sponsorship.
no,
things.
dude, they're a meadery. We don't need money.
My mug is empty. Let me
That's-
just
there-
say.
there
So
you
is
have
mine.
There you have it. And then the biggest one,
Who can forget?
the Queen's Pantry.
Makers of the majestic Scotch egg.
Decadent. Decadent.
Yes.
Scotch egg.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, yes.
You and your Scotch eggs.
Yes, because
But they were good. They were really
They're
good.
amazing.
I know, right?
And now that I know how to make them, well, it still
No
doesn't
one
taste
can
the
stop
same.
him.
It doesn't
Now.
taste the same,
It doesn't
but
taste the same.
it
I think it's the ambiance.
it fills the void.
It's the
does.
love.
It's the love.
Well, no, I think it's just the ambiance of
No,
it.
it's the love.
No, because I put love into everything that I make.
This is true.
Put a little bit more.
No, that's enough of my heart. And that's a good one to end
And
on,
we're gonna
man.
get outta here.
We're out.
Adios.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.